Inconsistently consistent.
Thank God there's no more books after this one.
There's a 4.
There is a 4th.
Thank God there's no more books after these.
No, there's a 4.
Thank God there's no more books.
It's called Service, and there's a spoon, knife, and fork on the front.
Thank God there's no more books after this one.
I'm gonna look up. Yeah, okay. Book 4.
No!
When's it coming out?
I wanted to see, but now it's making me prove I'm not a
robot.
fucking robot, because only robots would read this.
Tell them you're a fork.
Oh my god, why would you... I have to do it twice? Are you really that unsure?
They really want to be sure that you actually want to read this book about fucking cutlery.
Oh, it's out.
No, it's not.
It's out.
No, it's not.
It's
No,
out.
it's not.
And where is
No.
it? I'm pretty sure it's out, yeah. It came out January 14th. It came out last week. That's
It's
hilarious.
not. It's not out. It's
And
not
this
out.
one it's book 4 of 4, but Knife did say book 3 of 3, and then she decided that, you know what? No. More. So this one's about, the 4th one is about Lauren, aka Ashley's mother, who touched 3 utensils because she's a greedy bitch.
It's not out.
She's like, I need 3 super soldiers.
It's not out. Don't say these things out loud.
Well.
Oh, I have to tell Con it's out now.
Has he read them?
No, he's planning to read them. I told him if he wants to read them when he comes up in September, he's more than welcome to read them. But I was giving him updates on the books, and I was like, I think there's going to be a 4th one. And he's like, hell yeah, a MILF with 3 cutlery. And I was like, I don't want to read it.
Yeah, well, there's like a whole subgenre in romance now of the reverse harem of one woman and multiple men.
Oh. Yeah.
I really thought the next one was going to be like Sporked or something, you know? It would be like a 3-way with a spoon and a fork.
No, apparently it's now Foon fork. I don't know.
Guess who's ordering it?
Please, I don't want to read any more cutlery books.
I'm definitely not reading
it. I'm losing my mind over here.
No. You won't. We gotta know.
No, we don't.
We gotta know. I need the mystery.
There will be another one then after that.
The sex seems to get a bit better every book, right? Like,
I found it in the second one. It wasn't that great.
We should get into this. We should just fucking get into this.
Oh, this is not into it? I feel like this should all be just cut into it.
Okay, Melanie, do the intro.
Oh God, it's been so long. Okay, hello, and welcome back to Inconsistently Consistent, the podcast where we become masochists and we beat ourselves, but with books that are uncomfortable. But I'm enjoying them a lot because I've made you guys read them. And now you must suffer with me. So, I'm Melanie. I'm one of your hosts. Forgot that. It's been a while since we recorded. We also have another host.
I'm Rachel. I don't want to be here. I hate everything.
And we have a guest. Lexie is back because it's now a term of her employment to read these romance novels.
I was forced to read these against my will.
I was forced to read these against my will, and I don't even work for Melanie.
Well, honestly, everybody works for me. Nobody knows it, but they do. I am leader of the world. Just nobody's under that impression yet.
No one figured it out.
No. I'm a shadow government. I'm the entire shadow government.
As you could probably guess by the crying that happened at the beginning of this, guess what we're fucking talking about again? We're talking about more cutlery sex books.
I feel like this is going to take off. It's going to be a whole subgenre of romance, cutlery sex books. You know? Just like utensil smut. You know? I'm just pitching names for it.
I just worried that it's gonna take off so much they're gonna make it into a fucking movie.
Ah, Jesus. Well,
Jesus can't save us now.
if oh my god, what was that movie we watched? Dino Shark? If they can make a movie with a dinosaur shark, they can make a movie where a man turns into a fork and then fucks someone. Or maybe he fucked him after he came out of the fork. I don't know. It's all blurry.
So Khan wrote me back and he said, proud of her for coming out. Gotta be her true self. And I said, I hate it.
So, right before we started this podcast, Rachel was like, yay, we finished all of them. There's no more. And I was like, no. Last week, the 4th book came out. And it's called Serviced. And it's 3 utensils on the front. We've got a cougar with 3 super soldiers. I'm not saying we should read it, but I'm saying we should read it. We can't not finish the series.
I think we can and just say we did.
No,
I don't know.
We can't. There's still more questions. Why are they cutlery? What happened? Why did they used a laser beam? Like, why? What happened? How does that happen?
Science, technology, death is how it happens.
I love the explanation. Oh, we should probably say what books we're talking about.
Yeah.
Totally forgot. So, Ruth Cardello is the author.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce her name.
Yeah.
And we did Forked before, and that was the first book. And now the second book and third book we're doing in one episode, a review on, which were Spooned and then Knifed.
So the reviews for the last book, though, are pretty good.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just looking it up.
Khan said, now you have another podcast episode to do, and I just said, I hate you so much.
Apparently it has a good conclusion to the suspenseful love story.
Is there a suspenseful love story? I don't think there is.
I think I'm more into wondering what happened, why they became cutlery.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to have answers to this mystery. Because, okay, this is going to have spoilers. Mm-hmm. But we find out it was a laser beam that turned them into cutlery.
Yeah.
And it was set to kill. And then Ray was like fighting the mind control and set it to cutlery. Mm-hmm. So they literally had a laser beam that had at least 2 options, which were kill you or turn you into a fork. What kind of evil supervillain has made those 2 options?
Yeah.
It's like Star Trek, set your phasers to stun? No, it's set your phasers to cutlery.
Set the phasers to spooned. What? Anyway, right? Yeah, let's read the synopsis for
I'm sorry. I'm still into this 4th book here. But I'm just reading the little blurb about it, and it says that Lauren finds herself the unexpected heroine in a reverse harem tale surrounded by 8 World War II super soldiers who are as tempting as they are chaotic.
No, 8. They decided, I think she got sick of writing, and she was like, the 3, that'll be 6 of the 12 done. Shit, bring them all. Bring them all out.
Someone else was already out, though, right at the end of the last book.
Yeah, but his partner died, so he needs a new one, apparently.
Great. But he's gay. That one is, so.
He could be bi. We don't know.
Yeah, he could be pan. We don't know.
If he's out plus the 3 from the first 3 books, that's 4. There are 8 left. So I think she was just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
These guys need something. They've been abstinent for 80-something years.
It's a long time.
Stuck in metal cutlery. You know, they're coming out with boners. They need to do something about it.
Why 8?
8? Yeah.
That's too many.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
She's into it. It got really good ratings.
I don't care if it got the best ratings that I've ever heard of.
4.5 on Goodreads.
Yeah. Honestly, that's better than my rating on Goodreads, I think.
You know what? I didn't even rate these books on Goodreads because I couldn't be fucking bothered.
I don't think they're even on my Goodreads.
Actually, it has a better rating than the first one.
It's they're on my Goodreads because I'm tracking them for my reading
The
challenge.
4th one's even better than the 1st and 3rd, apparently, on Goodreads.
Oh God.
Yeah. I can get it on Kindle Unlimited, though, so
I can't believe I'm gonna spend money on another cutlery porn book.
Cutlery porn!
Anyways,
Where the forks do you?
I'm done. This is the end of the episode. This is the last episode of this podcast. We've had a good run. We're doing it for almost 3 years. We're done. This is it.
Lexie's really into it, and I can't tell. Are you actually really wanting to just find out the story, or are you like, I'm getting a bonus at work?
Hey. I just want to know what happens at this point.
Yeah, there's unanswered questions.
Yeah.
How come they have fish DNA?
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how they made them. And what's with the camouflaging?
They're like cuttlefish.
Yeah, and they got some type of octopus thing. And they're like, what if Ashley, so knifed with Ashley and Ray.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that one best with the characters and stuff. And Ashley's like, are they gonna come out? Like, if I have with her like conversation with her mom and she's talking about if they had babies.
Oh, if they had babies.
Are they gonna come out with tentacles?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Because they have octopus DNA? Or are they gonna come out as like regular babies that can shapeshift? Or are they kind of come out as forks and spoons? Like she's just gonna like her water's gonna break and then a whole bunch of cutlery are gonna fall out?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, a human dishwasher, perhaps?
Melanie, I love you, but I also hate you right now. I hate you so much.
These books fuck with your brain, okay?
Okay.
It's not my fault.
Yeah, they do. Anyways, let's read this. Let's read the summary of Spooned for our dear listeners. Just another case of forking leading to spooning. When a World War II super soldier trapped in cutlery discovers he can transform back into a man by being intimate with a woman, he seeks to free the rest of his unit via some unconventional matchmaking. But how do you find a woman willing to take a chance on a spoon? Cheryl isn't prepared to hear her friend is getting it on with a fork, or that her friend's hot fiancé is the result. Cheryl wants nothing to do with their cutlery kink until she holds the spoon for the first time and it feels meant to be. The dating pool has proven unsatisfying. Battery-operated devices don't cuddle you afterward. Your friend claims a kind-hearted, huge super soldier is trapped in your spoon and only you can free him. Wouldn't you give it a try just once, just to make sure? The answer to that is no. So Spoon follows Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like her.
And Jack is the spoon.
And Jack is the spoon. You didn't like Cheryl?
No, I found it really boring. I really didn't like that book at all.
It was pretty boring. I will say, because I guess I had expectations from the first one.
Yeah.
Not as much sex.
No, I think there was only one.
There's only one sex scene that he was not a spoon for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she like jerked off to the spoon 3 times.
2 or 3, yeah.
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 Though I liked Cheryl because I liked her interactions with Ashley, their friendship,
Yes.
right? Which Rachel and I have said to each other that it reminded us of the 2 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So apparently you don't like one of us.
I don't like both of you. Just kidding.
And I liked Jack. I liked his whole, like, he was born, I think he's born blind, or he was...
I believe he was born.
Yeah, he was born blind, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then he gets his sight back with the super soldier serum stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're all healing from that stuff. But I loved how he was, like, so committed to his mom, and he wasn't so, like, traditional gender roles, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was very much like, my mother should leave my asshole father.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't she end up marrying the butler?
Farley.
She does, yeah, she does.
I liked that.
I like that too.
Yeah, I liked when he found that out because he seemed pretty happy about that.
I also like the first thing he wanted to do when he got his sight back was actually see his mother's face.
Yeah.
Right? So he like snuck out and went and saw her and Farley, who like his father was a shit show to him and treated him really poorly and stuff because he wasn't like a good enough son to him.
Yeah.
But like Farley was his like surrogate father who trained him up and treated him well. So I mostly just liked it I liked Jack most of the time, but he got a little weird sometimes, especially when anything sexy came up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just like the way the author writes the sex scenes. And
I don't know, just going from book 1 to book 2, it was definitely disappointing.
Yeah.
The hottest sex scenes in book 2 were when he was a spoon, just saying. That's my take.
Yes, but because I've been subjecting my friends to this, I need to read the one part from the sex scene that I was just like, this is... Hang on, let me find it. Because it's
Read
just...
us a passage, Rachel. Read us a passage.
Yeah, it's hang on, where is it? Yes, I'll read a passage. This is the part that I sent to like so many of my friends, and they were like, what the fuck is this book? And I was like, if I have to read this, so do you. This is the part I sent to them. I could marry that tongue of his. Parents' children belong to that part of him alone. God, the things he could do with it. I'm writhing in his hands, mewling for him. Mewling. Of all the words to use, why did it have to be mewling?
That's a word that would be really weird if they spelled it wrong, like M-U-L-E, right? Like a donkey, like right? All of a sudden, completely different meaning.
Genre.
Plot twist: she's actually a mule.
Is it bestiality, or is she just smuggling spoons in her vagina now?
Jesus Christ! I'm going home.
Again, this is the last episode of the podcast. It's been a great 3 years, guys.
Oh my god! No.
No.
Side note for this story. What if they had to sneak into like some government building and they sneak them in, like drug mule style. So within themselves they could just hide cutlery.
Oh my god.
Melanie, why they can just bring cutlery in if it sets off a metal, even if it's inside of them, it's gonna set off a metal detector.
Well, the government might know their cutlery. You gotta hide them. If this happens in book 4, I called it.
Well, book 4 has the most pages.
Oh yeah, because it takes a while to get those things in there.
There's 8 now. So
Christ, Melanie.
Need a lot of lube.
It's good. I'm going home. I'm going home. Lexie, you're taking over my co-host position.
I lost my mind.
Oh my god. I'm gonna go back to work.
This is what happens when we record on a Monday.
Jesus.
I'm not sensible on Mondays.
You're not sensible any day of the week. What do you mean?
I'm significantly less sensible on Mondays.
Yeah, this is like the only sex scene. Really.
Yeah.
The Superman.
Okay, that I was
came to work the
describing that
next
to
day.
some friends, and I was like, I don't know how that works.
I came into work the next day after reading that, and I was like, what the hell did they do? I was like, I don't get it.
Well, do you remember the Soulja Boy song?
Yeah, it's when they
Superman
Superman that hoe.
That's what that position is.
I think I
But-
would die if I tried to do that position.
But how is she like? Okay, how is she holding her torso up? Is my question.
With her arms back to hold onto him so she can fly.
So are her legs around him as well?
In the back.
How do you, no? But you can't. Okay, unless you're some freak of nature who
Or
can
maybe
like.
your hands are up front. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How would you wrap your legs around him if he's like behind? You can't like unless you got super bendy hips.
Well,
I
I'm
guess her legs
thinking
could be like that.
that if she was if her body was down more, like if say like you know the wheelbarrow
wheelbarrow
races you do as a kid where somebody holds your feet and your hands are on the floor. Just imagine if they opened your legs and pulled you closer, right? You're kind of at that angle.
I'm going home.
I would
going
die.
home.
I would actually die. I would break my back.
Yeah,
trying to do
I
that.
mean,
My hips would cramp so much, though. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, this is not a feasible sex position to be Superman.
I feel like they had to be a contortionist. You had to be a professional.
She just has to have Play-Doh for legs or something. Like
Exactly, because like I'm just thinking logistically, if you're doing it how you said with the wheelbarrow thing, your hips and legs are gonna start cramping real bad because you can't wrap them around him unless you can bend your knees like backwards.
I don't know. I mean, I did not go looking for visual aids on this one issue. But I'm pretty sure it's possible for some bendy bitches to do.
Okay, if there's any bendy bitches in our audience, can you attempt this position and let us know how it works?
Would the bendy bitches please stand up?
Bendy bitches, please stand up. Oh God.
I also feel like her sex scenes read like a technical manual,
Yeah, they do.
right? It's very much he put this here, she put that there, this
You
happened
know-
there.
You know what it reminds me of now that you bring this up? It reminds me of how if you're 12 years old writing sex scenes for fanfiction.net and you're like, he put his thingy in my thingy.
Yeah, but you sound like you have personal knowledge of this, Rachel.
No, I've just read a lot of fanfiction with that stuff.
You read a lot of fan fictions written by 12-year-olds?
When I was younger, yes. And like My Immortal's written like that if you've ever read My Immortal.
I don't know what My Immortal is.
she said my portal.
My portal.
It's a fan fiction based off the Evanescence song My Immortal with the main character Ebony, Darkness, Dementia, Raven Way.
Okay, we need to read this on an episode of the podcast.
So I didn't even know what fanfiction was until I think Melanie told me
I
about it.
did
And that
bring
was
her into
probably
this
a
world.
few years ago. So I didn't even know anything like that existed.
Yeah. You grew up a sheltered child.
But I didn't.
You did in the ways of the fan fiction.
I must have.
I had the internet way too young and just
That's the problem.
unsupervised access to a computer. So
No,
I
here's-
was just like, had a question, Google it.
Here's
And
the
I
thing,
went down some
Melanie.
rabbit holes.
We can't read the whole My Immortal fanfic for an episode because it's like 40-something chapters long.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
And apparently, I don't know if the author ever finished it or not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we can't read all of it.
No.
But we do need to do another fan fiction episode.
Yes. We
I won't
probably
make you come on that one, Lexie.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyways, yeah, these sex scenes read very much like you said, a manual, like, and also the way he's like, get on your knees, turn around.
Yeah, which when sexy talk is done right in a book,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds good and it's hot. This was just like, all right, this is instructions, right? It was like, you put your leg there and you put this there, and then I have a weird tongue that does shit. Also, what is her obsession with tongues?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Because, yeah, okay, oral, it's good, but like, the way she writes the tongue as if it has a mind of its own with all these guys, it's like...
And didn't he vibrate his tongue at one point?
Yes, he did. He made his tongue vibrate, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
But the way it was written wasn't like, ooh. It was like, what kind of monstrosity? It was like the Loch Ness Monster came out of their mouths and then fucked these women.
And then vibrated.
I think I killed Rachel.
Rachel's
She's
dead.
silent now.
Yeah.
If we had to do a survey, like not a survey, but if we had to go back and get the stats for the sound I make you make on this podcast the most, I think is like probably the thing that happens.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know what, because even I think in the first book she was very descriptive about Hugh's tongue.
Yeah, I didn't find it as bad though.
No.
I found it wasn't hot.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't like a hot, sexy scene.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh God, why?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the second two, that was my reaction to the tongue. I was like, please just move on. Move on to the intercourse portion, please.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. And like, oh, also, how much time has passed between the first book and the second book?
I don't know.
Because like, why are Mercedes and Hugh engaged?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it was weeks only.
Yeah.
But then I think they've talked about the Hugh's been out for months or something, or a couple of months in the third book. They mention it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Not that long.
It
So,
didn't
like,
seem long.
That's why I'm like, why are they engaged? You barely know this man. Also, that's the first man that she's slept with, and she's like, yeah, let's get engaged. This seems fine. This is normal.
I find that with all the three books, they all fell in love pretty quickly within like a day. And I'm like,
that's not how it happens in real life.
no.
Yeah,
and even if it does,
when I meet somebody who transforms into a fork, I say, let's get to know you first.
I say, you turn into a fork, psych hospital. That's what I say.
You turn into a fork, I turn into a ghost. You never see me again.
Exactly. You're a fork, you never see me.
I turn into a goat. I just, insta love is a thing that pops up in romance novels a lot, right?
So cheesy.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the insta love ones. I like
also
friends to lovers ones better.
I also don't like the whole bit where she's like, I'm going to show you how to turn the phone on. And he's like, right. She's talking about turning the phone on, not turning me on. I didn't like that whole bit.
It was a weird bit.
I don't even remember that.
It's like legit when Cheryl's showing Jack how to turn a phone on. She's like, the first thing I'll show you is how to turn it on. My dick jerks against her back. Stand down. She wasn't talking about you.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never read anything by this author before, but apparently she has like in the back of the book, it mentioned like a whole bunch of different books she's written of like, it's like Romance by the Millionaire or something like this. I've never tried reading any of her other books, so I don't know if this is just how she writes, or is this just how she writes this one, where she's probably not going to put in as much time and effort into, since they're more like a joke gag book than really, you know, her serious stuff that she's writing romance in. So I don't know. Could be either way, but I found like she has really good ideas for the story, and I like some of the like banter between like Cheryl and Ashley, and like making fun of itself, and the references to like Captain America and stuff, kind of that thing. Because there's like similar backstories of like World War II super soldiers that go fight the Nazis, right? But you know, it's just like clunky.
Yes.
That's all I can put it as. Is a lot. It's like some of the dialogue, some of how the characters react, and definitely the sex scenes. It's clunky. Doesn't flow right.
Yeah, it is clunky. I agree with that. And it's just very like, I feel like it kind of, she rushed to put a plot in because there wasn't really a plot in the first one. It was just kind of focused on Mercedes being like, I've never had sex with a man. Now I have a fork that I want to fuck.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we're getting like, oh, well, they wanted to get rid of you guys. So they were going to kill you. And now Jack Ray fucking said it to fork instead of kill. You know, like it just seems kind of, I feel like if she wanted to introduce the plot, she should have introduced it more in the first one.
Yeah. And maybe that was like she was never planning to write more.
That's what it seemed
and
like.
then it took off.
Yeah.
And people were like interested. It even in like a train wreck way of like, it's so horrible, but I can't look away, right? So like maybe she just kind of did it, or maybe she didn't have, like maybe she hit her stride with it after, because the story unfolds better and better as it goes to me, of like their backstories and the mystery of it. And I liked all the science-y stuff that ended up in the third book.
Yeah, I did too.
I think the third book was my favorite.
Yeah.
For sure.
Also, she never actually did anything with the knife.
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just appeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting that he was the one, like at the time, the only one that could do that. Because I don't think the other ones were able to.
But then they kind of explain it as like they could have too.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's about the dopamine and the testosterone, right? Instead of like just arousal. It's just that a lot of that is released at the same, like those same chemicals during arousal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But one thing, you know, jealousy pops up in romance as like a trope all the time, right? I think it's in the second one, but they mentioned that they have to get, like, Mercedes has all plastic utensils now.
Yes.
That's
right?
Yeah.
Because Yu's jealous if she uses a metal utensil.
I mean, that's a bit ridiculous.
And then Cheryl's like, well, I'll just make finger food.
Oh my god.
So we don't have to use them.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I will respect your boundaries, like, and your insecurities and such, Jack. And I will think about getting all plastic utensils as well. Right? It's just like, I just can't. I just can't.
Yeah, because there's a spot where in the book, speaking of it, where she well, I'll read another segment because I know Lexie loves when I read these so much.
I do. It's the highlight of my day.
She gives me my cheek a peck. I'm glad I won't have to diddle a million spoons. What? Are you finding other spoons attractive? I'd only been joking when I mentioned that possibility. She laughs reassuringly, No, just you. Sorry. What I should have said was I missed you too. I couldn't let go of the image of her with another spoon. How do you feel about eating soup with a straw from now on? Like,
Oh my God.
what the fuck, man? It's not like every spoon in the world is a super soldier. It's not. It's just a spoon. Like, my spoons in my apartment aren't super soldiers.
That
That you know of.
I'm gonna throw all my cutlery out now and only buy plastic.
You're switching to plastic?
I'm switching to
No
plastic.
cutlery.
Sorry.
Just
Sorry,
finger
turtles.
foods forever.
Sorry, turtles.
Oh, but see, we go on that end. It was like complete ridiculousness and clunky writing and stuff.
Mhm.
But I can't remember where it is, but Jack is talking to Cheryl because there's like a triggering scene in the beginning of the book that Cheryl goes through an incident, right? Where she's drugged.
Yeah.
So she's not assaulted, just for people wondering that. That doesn't happen.
No.
So it's not too bad to read in that, if that's something that triggers you. But there's a line from Jack where he's talking to her about it, and like Cheryl's kind of minimizing her own thing of like, well, nothing happened. And he's like, pain, he says, trauma is not a competition. Pain is pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck, that's a good line.
That was a good line, yeah.
Yeah. There's another one in Knife too, which is like a really like kind of profound line. And I was like, we're reading about them fucking cutlery. And then you throw that out?
Yeah.
Damn. Just damn.
Just damn.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that's a good line.
Yeah, that was a good line where he said that. And I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. The books surprised me in that. Right? It's just like complete ridiculousness. And then all of a sudden something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very confusing author.
It is.
Yeah. But I do think this fourth book is just, well, fuck it. I need to finish this series. All of them out at the same time. You get one woman.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Whatever works.
Orgies galore.
I just don't understand. I don't understand.
Well, the reverse harem is a new upcoming thing, like a subgenre in romance. I haven't read any of them yet. Or may never do that, but it's a thing. Especially in shifter romance.
Mm-hmm.
With like werewolves and everything's. You know. Everything's.
Yeah, why everything? Do we think we've kind of talked about spooned enough? Do we want to move on to knifed?
Yeah,
Sure.
I've been spooned enough here.
Oh, is that what's going on at the office?
You don't want to know.
Because it was an audio podcast.
All right, let's read the summary for knifed.
Though I was sad it wasn't a horror. It sounds like it should be a horror.
Yes, it does. That was one thing we kept saying back and forth to each other. Is this sounds like it should be a horror.
Yeah.
All right. Let's read this. Being under the knife has never felt so good.
So stupid.
He wasn't supposed to come back yet. No one is ready for him. He has nothing to lose. No one he trusts, and revenge on his mind. Not exactly the insta boyfriend you were promised he would be. Ashley took the knife home as a joke, but there's nothing funny about her attraction to an angry and possibly homicidal utensil. Maybe some knives deserve to be left in the drawer. His lack of memory of the events that led to his unit being trapped in silverware isn't cutting it. Ray is the reason your mother always told you to be careful with knives. Play with him and he might hurt you without even meaning to. But when danger starts circling and you need protection, it's wiser to reach for a knife than a spoon. Cautionary warning. Got to read the cautionary warning. The humor in this novella is sharp, not for the thin-skinned. Please be aware that all of the scenes are fictional and should not be tried at home. Not even my editor would act them out to check for feasibility. Extreme care should be employed when considering viewing a knife as a potential mate. Do you notice how there's no warning like that on Spooned?
No, because you can't cut your insides with a spoon.
Oh, I'm sure you could if you tried hard enough.
Maybe,
You
I
could
guess.
scoop.
You could scoop your insides out.
You were aggressive enough, I guess.
I hate
That's
it.
the horror version that's going to be fan fiction now. Scooped. Sliced for knife. And forked is pricked.
Oh my god. I will say I do like how she puts a trigger warning at the beginning of this book.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So, trigger warning. This novella is about a World War II super soldier with a history of abuse that left him damaged both physically and mentally. Due to his sharp nature, the author chose to not portray certain intimate scenes in detail. If it sounded painful in my imagination, it didn't make it on paper. Also, oddly enough, it's challenging to come up with quality knife jokes. I apologize in advance for my attempts. I will say, I noticed as the books went on, less and less jokes about spooned and knives.
Yeah. Which I appreciated because by the end of Forked, I was like, fork off, woman.
You were like, fork off, I remember that.
You were over it.
Yeah, it was funny the first couple times, but then by the time you get through 100 pages and it's showing up like almost every chapter, it's like, okay, drop it. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah, it was funny 15 chapters ago.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Though the synopsis, I don't think any mother is thinking when she says, "Don't play with knives, kid," that they're going to fuck it. Right? I don't think that's a worry in any mom's mind of, I really hope they don't try to shove that sharp object inside of them. For pleasure. Hey.
I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
It was too sharp for you?
I'm going to murder you.
With what? A knife?
No, I'm gonna I'm gonna do the video, the ineffective murder with the fuck, I can't remember the exact name of that video, but it's about a guy that just chases someone and hits him with a spoon.
So you're gonna spoon me.
Spoon you to death.
And she's gonna scoop you.
Yeah, I will say, I think out of the three, I did like this one.
I did too.
Yeah.
Knife is the best one.
It was definitely the best. Except I found that the fight scene, I found that really lame between the three of them.
Oh, yeah.
And it went on and on. They were like throwing each other up against the walls and like put them in chokeholds. I was like, okay, we get it. Like after like the 4th or 5th page of it, I was like, can this stop now?
Yeah. Like, and it again read like a technical manual for fighting.
Yeah.
And then it ended with like, whoever's got a boner on my leg needs to get off.
Yeah,
because
she showed them her boobs. Or
yeah,
her boobs.
Ashley flashed them, but she had pasties on.
Yeah.
Also, who wears pasties unless they're required to for their job? They don't wear them to their job as a research analyst person working with robotics.
I mean, yeah, that was a little strange, I will say.
Yeah. I like Ashley, except for that. I was like, what? And she's like, it's just freer. I don't like the restriction of bras. I like to bounce around with pasties on. And I was like, what? I was like, are we sure Ruth Cardello is not like Rupert Cardello? Because this sounds like a man who thinks women just like bouncing around with their boobs hanging out all the time.
Yeah, no.
As a big boobed individual, I need support.
Same.
Yeah. I don't slap a sticker over each one and wave them around.
I can't just wave them around because they would do some damage.
I got Lexie with that.
I don't have that problem. I'm pretty flat-chested, so...
You're not flat-chested.
I mean, I don't have what you have.
No. You don't want what I have.
You don't want what we have, Lexie.
Back
You
problems.
don't want
That's what
it.
we have.
Back problems. Can't lie on your stomach without them squishing and almost suffocating you.
You almost asphyxiate. Jesus fucking Christ, I can't speak. It's the boobs. They're crushing me.
Death by tit.
Death
Bell
by
posture?
Tata. Instead of death by snoo snoo, death by Tata.
It was a Tata homicide.
Yes, it was.
A
Yeah, she
double
literally
homicide.
just like
A double D homicide.
okay, it's just the way that she describes the scene where she rips her shirt open. She stands there, hands on hips, breast bouncing like some female goddess, and I don't know what to do with how possessive I feel toward a woman I don't know. Like, my question is, how violently did she rip her shirt open that her boobs are still bouncing?
Oh, I bet buttons got tore off for sure.
But yet she's able to button the shirt again?
Yeah, she can button the shirt again when she's done flashing him.
That shirt is a snap open shirt. She planned this. There's snaps or Velcro on it. She's just been doing this at work. She's like, you want to take my robots? Bounce, bounce, bounce.
Because she rebuttons her shirt. Also, so like, how quickly did she, this is what I'm trying to figure out the logistics of this, because if you're unbuttoning a shirt, you're not going to be able to unbutton it quickly because you're going to fumble with the buttons. And then like, if she's not ripping it because she rebuttons her shirt, but also if you just unbutton it normally, your boobs aren't going to just be like, wee, you know? You're not going to go on a ride.
She should be bouncing.
She could be jumping.
Yeah, she's jumping or bouncing to be like, watch them go.
But why would you do that? Okay, again, why would you do that without a bra? That hurts when you've got big
reckless.
boobs.
She's not afraid to lose an eye to an areola.
Did you say she's breastless? Or
She's reckless.
I heard she's breastless, and I was like, not with them pasties, she's not. I've killed Lexie.
I'm dying. Oh my Jesus.
After reading this, we're all terminally ill now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can't with this book series.
I do like the fact that Ray is able to bring himself back from a knife without having her fuck the knife.
Yeah. She really didn't even have to fondle it. She just
she laid it
put
on
him
her
in
desk,
the other.
wasn't it?
Yeah, she laid it on the desk, forgot all about it, and then everybody else is in the room with her, and she's talking to them, and they're like, "Don't touch the knife!" And then Ray just wanders out,
and he's like,
"I'm ready for fighting."
Yeah.
He's like, "Let me out! I don't want to be trapped as a knife anymore."
Then he almost dies, and then her
Yeah.
mom has to come over and give him antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can read their minds, or there's some weird mind thing all of a sudden.
The
now.
mind reading all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But it's just those two. Can the other ones do it too, or is it just Ray?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, in the scene
And her
after
mom,
the fight
too.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
In the
yeah.
scene after the fight, Mercedes and you did it a couple times of she's like, send me a picture of something. I don't know, an image of something. And he just kept sending her pictures of Mercedes naked.
And then she was like, pick a number, and he was like 69 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. Mercedes and you were able to do it. Jack and Cheryl were kind of like, we could do it sometimes while we're having sex or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, Lauren can do it with Ray and Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
And they can have conversations? Like, that's weird. It's all weird. And this is what we find weird, but they're all fucking utensils here?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that in both ways. There's people that are utensils, and there's people that are fucking the utensils.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we're like,
Their mind reading is
the
strange.
mind reading is weird.
Yeah. The
I
we're like,
believe in learning
they
to-
can camouflage and like the tongues can expand and contract, their dicks can expand and contract, but we're like the mind reading. That's where I'm drawing the line. Like that's a little too weird.
Yeah.
Another thing in that book I found random was when the mob
Yeah.
showed up out of nowhere. I was like, what's happening?
It's like, did she forget which book she was doing? And this is like the millionaire romance that a mob boss is involved.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Yeah.
where? I was like, where did this come from? But yeah, I guess it goes back to the first book when he was fighting.
Yeah, in that fighting ring, and then
it just randomly shows up. I was like, what? So yeah, I guess they were being followed, right? But were they being followed by them or followed by that other guy in the second book?
I don't. Both?
Yeah.
That's what they said. They're both, cause see, I only finished Knifed yesterday, so I've been the last to finish this. So I feel like I've got the most fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I read it like a week and a half ago, I think.
Yeah. So they will get followed by both.
Finished this a while ago, so.
But after Ashley and Ray get rid of the guy that was like one of the henchmen guys, they set him up with like a new life and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then they find out Edward, who was another guy from their unit, was following them, who was only a dessert spoon. He was a fancy spoon.
Yeah.
For like a few months before their director
back,
Falcon or whatever.
Yeah.
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 So he was brought back almost immediately.
Yeah. But you know what I liked? I wish I brought the books with me because I could look at the page. But there was a moment, like we have Director Falcon, reference to Falcon in Avengers, maybe?
Hang on. I have the book with me.
Plus we have the whole like jokes in the first book of Yu's backstory being like Captain America's.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a reference to a dog named Bucky.
Yes.
And I was like,
I remember that.
Bucky, Steve, and Sam. Yeah. So the whole like Captain America Winter Soldier thing was like in my head with that. And also, super soldiers that fought Nazis. We got Bucky and Steve from Captain America there. And then the whole Falcon takes over as Captain America after Steve's gone. So I was like, oh, so this woman likes Marvel shit. Yeah. I'm surprised there wasn't a reference to like Deadpool.
I'm surprised.
Healing.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what was kind of a plot twist for me that I was not expecting?
What?
Was Greg to be related to one of the super soldiers.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. He was like the great nephew or something.
Yeah, he's the great nephew to Edward. And I was like, I remember I was sitting on the couch reading and I just went,
yeah. And the interview process pretty much of who gets to, hook up with the utensils was Greg trying to fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, if Greg tries to fuck you and you say no, you're definitely worthy of one of these utensils. Have your pick. Like, what the fuck? And Greg was sleazy.
Yeah.
100% sleazy. Every interaction he had in the second and third books, I was so icked out by. Right? He didn't he literally start taking off his clothes in front of Cheryl and Spoon?
He kissed her, right?
Yeah. No, he kissed her. He tried to sleep with her. Yeah.
And then he was in the first book too, right?
Yeah. That was Mercedes. She was like, "Oh my god, he's so hot. I want to be with him."
Oh, that was the neighbor that she wanted to sleep with.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's how she meets Cheryl and all them too, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But he wasn't so icky then, right? And then the second book, the whole Cheryl thing, that was just ugh.
And then he did show up in the third book, right at the diner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of propositioned her too.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they had the boner joke again in this book. Hey, whoever just got a boner needs to get the hell off my leg.
Yeah, that was in the first fight scene, but then I think they brought it up as a joke and nobody actually had a boner at the time. In the second time they did it,
I don't know, man. I don't know,
but Ashley didn't take her top off at that point, so
yeah. But the men were all hugging each other.
Yeah,
that's right.
So maybe, sometimes you get lonely in the war, in the trenches, and
I think that was the most unrealistic thing. Ray hugging them in a group hug.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, no, I'll believe the utensil thing. I'll believe the laser gun that could be set to kill or sporkify. I don't know.
Sporkify.
But I don't believe Ray would get involved in a group hug.
I also liked his interactions with the robots.
Yeah, I like that as well.
I love the robots.
So funny.
Yeah.
George, the little sex addict robot.
Oh my god. I found that so hilarious. He wanted to watch them or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's like, can I watch you fornicate?
Can I watch you fornicate? That reminded me, and this is I don't think I told you this from our D&D campaign, but there was a point where it reminded me of my character having to explain casual sex to a two-headed crow demon.
Oh my god.
And that's what that reminded me of, with all the robots being like, oh, can I watch? And I did sex and blah. And I was like, huh. That's what it reminded me of. Oh, God.
And George, boundaries.
George, boundaries.
Yeah. All the different weird animatronic different types of robots. There's a spider bot.
Mm-hmm.
There was a centipede bot.
Mm-hmm.
There's one's just like a cube.
There's one with wheels.
Yeah. All that. I liked that, and I liked the fact that they kind of went into her job, because what the fuck did Mercedes do besides pine over men? Right?
Yeah, I don't know if we ever got what her job was, because Cheryl was also doing some research type thing, I thought.
Yeah, we didn't ever see her work. We just saw her kind of go back and forth over letting her parents control her life and stuff.
Yeah, they wanted her to work at a pharmacy or pharmaceutical stuff or something.
Yeah, pharmaceutical company, yeah.
Yeah. And then Ashley, we actually got
she went to her job.
Yeah. And got to know her a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then we get to know Lauren a little bit, the mother of being an EMT to
Mercedes works from home.
Oh, doctor.
You're a doctor, I believe.
Right. Mercedes what?
I think Mercedes works from home.
Yeah.
Yes, I think.
But yeah, it was nice to see, like you said, Ashley and then her mom going from a nurse to a doctor.
Yeah, she went EMT to nurse to doctor.
Yeah.
How does one do that and not be 75 by the time you're done?
She must have started young.
But she trained and worked, and then trained and worked and trained and worked, right? They said that she did EMT training, worked as an EMT. Then she would have had to do schooling for nursing, and then apparently worked at that, and then did schooling to become a doctor, and then works at that now. That takes a long time. It takes 7 years to become a doctor.
So she started her career as an EMT to pay her way through school.
At 5 years old, apparently.
Then she started as an RN as she continued her education.
Mm-hmm.
So she's working and going to school at the same time, probably.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
she'd have to.
Yeah.
But still, like the way that it was like, do you think this is like leveling up your character in a video game?
The woman's
like get 1,000 XP and all of a sudden, boom, you're a doctor.
Yeah.
Right? Like every doctor goes to work as an EMT first, and then after 7 shifts, you get to go to be a nurse, and then you get 20 shifts there, and then you get to level up to doctor. If you want surgeon, you need 200 hours. Yeah.
I don't know how it works in the US. There's probably like a course they take for EMTs, and she might have done that like right out of high school.
Yeah.
So she would be like 17, 18, you know?
I know the course here for it, so I don't think it's that long.
Yeah, and then she probably was working, and she probably applied to nursing school while she was doing that. So she was probably working, and nursing school is 4 years, so that would put her 23. Med school is another 4 years. So that would put her 20.
If she has a bachelor's degree for nursing, she wouldn't have to do that like a bachelor undergrad or anything to get into med school, which is 3 years in here, I think.
No, it's 4 years.
What?
Med school's 4 years.
I thought it was 7 years to become a doctor, which was the 4 and 3.
So
for undergrad, 3 for that.
No, so that's law school, Melanie. You're confusing. The law school's only 3 years.
Yeah, well, I thought it was both.
No, med school's 4 because you do your 4 years of med school and then you do your residency after. So I'm just wondering, when the hell did she have time to have kids?
Yeah, she had 2, right?
Yeah, because Ashley has a twin.
Studying at the same time and being a single mom.
Yeah.
Who works 2 jobs and never stops.
Who loves her kids.
The heart of a fighter. She's a survivor. And the fact she has a television show now too, right?
Yeah, like, whew.
Oh wait, that's Reba.
But also just the fact that like she had 2 kids. She had because she had twins. Ashley has a twin brother.
That's right.
Who's a dick, apparently.
Who's an asshole.
Father, right?
Yeah.
But like, when did she have time?
Yeah, she must have balanced that out crazy.
She has 2 arms, 1 for each kid, and then she has her eyeballs to read, and then she's walking herself around at work at the same time.
How much attention children need?
Children?
Children. How much attention kids need?
Yeah,
especially when they're young.
So I'm saying, how is this woman like?
She's a super soldier.
She's a super soldier in itself.
She is a super soldier.
If we open up the 4th book and it's like Lauren is 39, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
Because Ashley's at least in her 30s, like late 20s.
I think all the women are in their 20s.
They're late 20s because I think Mercedes is like almost 25 and she doesn't want to be a virgin by the time she's 25 or something.
Yeah.
So I would say, depending on when Ashley's mom went, now we're getting into the logistics.
I'll believe the fork shape-shifting. I don't believe this timeline for Lauren. This really got us upset here.
Depending on when she had the kids, she might have been like in
7.
nursing school, maybe.
She had them while she was in school, like high school.
Yeah, and
maybe
Buddy, like they don't stay together very long. Lauren and the father.
No, they don't get married.
I think the story was that the father wanted Lauren's mom to marry him, and he wanted more like a gender norm traditional marriage, right?
Or as the TikTok call it, the trad wife.
Oh, yeah, the trad wife. Not as cool as it sounds. But like the whole homemaker style wife, you know, housewife, not the woman who has dreams, because he wanted her to give up her dreams.
Because he wanted to take care of her. He wanted to have a comfortable life and all this kind of stuff.
He wanted to feel better about his small penis.
Yes. Yeah, they stayed together until after my brother and I were born. He wanted to marry her, build her a nice house, and take care of her.
Yeah. He wanted her to stay indoors.
So at most, she's
and not wear her pasties and jiggle around.
I would say she's probably in her 40s, maybe pushing 50.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But like traditional romance books always set characters very young, right? Yeah. So like you've got the 20s, or like you've got the, oh no, it's a cougar, they're 32. Right?
Oh God.
Right? It's ridiculous in ages. So I'm expecting to open up Service and be like, well, she's 39. She's been able to get 1 certificate, 2 university degrees, work in 3 separate fields, raise 2 children.
By herself.
And she's 39. Oh no.
No, I think they definitely make reference to the fact that she is older in Knifed. I don't like how detailed we get talking about these stuff with these stupid books.
I just love how this is the one thing that we're like tore off on, is how this woman had a career and raised her kids and how old she is.
I think it's just more so
on a fucking suspension bridge
and camouflaged into it.
Yeah.
Which also, there was logistic issues there too, okay? Her technical manual sex was incorrect. Because how the fuck did that work? First of all, there was, Rachel, if you could go to the passage.
I will go to the passage. Hang on.
What else I thought was they took their clothes off, threw their clothes, and then I was like, well, how are they going to get back to their car? And then it just went to the next chapter, and they were like in the apartment or something.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Let me get spoon.
I was like, I want to know how they got down from the bridge.
And Ashley fucking yeeted his clothes off the bridge.
Okay.
Ray throws them down to like where they won't blow away with the wind.
He's like, we might need them after.
Yeah, he's like, well, she should wear clothes. And apparently
here we go. We're on the bridge.
And maybe we camouflaged as her dress.
Jesus Christ.
Well, all right.
He now shapeshifts to clothing. But
oh my God. Okay, here's the passage with they're on the bridge.
Read the sex scene.
All right. You want me to read the whole sex scene?
There was logistical issues for me of like, he's holding her up, but fucking her with his tongue. And then I think they had, above his face. Right? Okay. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I think he's doing it with his dick at this point. And then I'm like, but what the fuck is happening? Because his head is here and her hips are up here. And I'm like, this doesn't work.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I got it. Okay.
This is great to be face to face with Lexie for this.
All right. Okay. Here's the sex scene.
Yeah.
This is after he comes from the blowjob.
Right. Oh, after the blowjob.
She gave him a blowjob on the bridge.
Oh, also this expanding dick in the mouth thing?
Yes.
What the fuck? This is not sexy. This is the choking hazard.
This is the choking hazard. Anyways, the sex scene. He helps me to my feet, then slams me back against the metal structure. I'm his for the taking this time, and he's all in. There isn't an inch of me he doesn't worship with his hands and then his tongue, again with the tongue.
While holding her up?
A light
on a bridge in the wind.
He took her down, right? And pushed her up against something.
Yeah, he pushed her up against something. No, she was on her knees like a good little girl, and then he pulled her up and pinned her against the bridge.
Yes,
like this.
Yes, but not an inch that he doesn't worship. So she's back to the wall of the bridge of whatever thing.
Yeah,
and yet he goes over every inch of her with his tongue,
like an ice cream.
Yeah,
so how does he get her lower back? She's up against the bridge.
A light flashes in our direction, and he hides my body behind his as he changes to the color of the metal, but doesn't stop exploring me.
Yeah,
he hides his body
like he's trying to lick an envelope closed.
He hides her body
every bit.
So where did he hide her body?
He pushes her up against that, and then he stands in front of her, camouflages to the color of the bridge, so nobody would see anything but this bridge side just fucking her. Just wiggling.
Boldly, confidently.
Some poor engineer is walking by going, oh my god, the bridge is going to fall.
Do you know that there's a show that used to come on, I think it was TLC, and it was people who had strange addictions.
Mm-hmm.
And there was people who were in relationships with inanimate objects, and I swear I saw one the other day, and it was a missus who like was married to some kind of bridge. Or
there's one where someone's married to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, and someone who was married to their car, but he got in a car accident.
Oh no!
Yeah, there was an update.
There was a car accident.
There was a car accident. Anyways,
because before it was a car on purpose.
Yes.
That was a bad joke. I'll take that back.
You may continue.
Okay. Boldly, confidently, he bends and lifts me, tossing my legs over his shoulder.
What?
Yes. See, I've seen this in porn. I've watched porn. It's on record now. So I don't plead the fifth because this is Canada.
Plead the moose.
I plead the beaver.
He also pled the beaver.
He's licking hers up against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got her like vagina to face.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got you.
So yes. So this is the logistical shit. So it's written like technical shit, but also I don't think it makes sense because already he's supposed to have licked her everywhere according to this, which obviously just exaggerations.
Mm-hmm.
But he could not get her back if she was back against things.
That's true.
Right? Unless he now has the ability to shift incorporeal through objects to get behind her and lick her. While also being in front. So he also can clone and duplicate himself.
No, he's got a tongue that can just like...
See what I'm saying? Loch Ness tongue. Oh my god, I know what my next book is. I'm kidding, of course.
Okay. Keep going.
What Ashley was saying.
I cling to him, feeling like I'm flying over the city as he parts my sack and plunges that sinfully stretchable tongue into me.
Yeah.
So he's
got on his face.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's sitting on his face, but also back against the bridge, and like her arms are doing the whole Titanic move of "I believe I can fly" thing.
Got you.
I'm a bird, Jack. I'm flying.
He's still camouflaged as the bridge.
I'm assuming it doesn't say that he stopped camouflaging himself.
People see her. She's just like up in the air.
She said it was very difficult while climbing the bridge to stay camouflaged because she was using her like telepathic powers to like hook into his power and turn herself invisible or like camouflage. But if he's trying to block her because she can't hold the shape or whatever, the coloring, and then he lifts her face like above his face, so they can't see her from like the hips down, but they can see her from the hips up.
Jesus Christ.
Her tatas flying in the wind.
Her pasty tatas.
With pasties?
I don't know if the pasties. I think the pasties.
I don't understand because so he's like eating her out, but then on the next page it says that they come together, and I'm like, but he's not inside her.
Yeah,
and she can't reach.
But they're also
jork
having,
his
like,
penis?
the mind connection because she came during the blowjob with him, and he wasn't touching her.
Did she come during the blowjob?
Yes, I read the scene very thoroughly.
Oh, he does.
Logistical issues.
Oh, she does. Oh,
I always took notes.
I think I blacked out when I was reading this scene.
I think I skimmed this part.
Same. I'm pretty sure I blacked out because I'm going back to read and I'm like, oh yeah, she comes as well. What? That's so weird.
But it was like because of like the telepathic link thing.
Oh
she was feeling his pleasure and that made her orgasm.
I don't like that. I don't. Okay. So then, if he's still camouflaged to look as the bridge,
yeah,
They're
and her hips that above are above him. So
no. But if he's still camouflaged to look like the bridge, they're just gonna see a line of splooge fly out from this bridge.
Yeah, but I also don't think she's fully camouflaged because he was trying to block her to make sure no one saw her.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say her belly button up is above his head. So everyone's seeing her face and her tatas just waving in the wind. Like 2 of those like sock flag things. The wind socks.
Oh my god.
So now I have a new name for boobs. Wind socks.
Wind socks, yes.
They're
Okay.
wind socks. On a blustery day.
Oh my Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so like you think about it, they're just gonna see this like line of white come out of this bridge.
Yeah, the bridge is just gonna vibrate for a little while, and then
The bridge is just gonna splooge on you. Imagine if you're walking and all of a sudden you get hit with cum as you're walking under this bridge.
I'd be like, oh no, a bird shit on me.
A bird shit on me. Oh my god.
No, it was just a projectile super soldier semen.
Oh my god.
You know, they were talking about how they didn't have sex with women after they got turned into this stuff because they had accidentally injured people when they weren't trying to, when it wasn't sexual. So they were like, uh-oh, we could break women. We need to be careful. We need to learn how to like hold it back, hold ourselves back from hurting them. So, yeah, they had this whole thing, and that's why none of them had hooked up with anybody since, you know, getting their superpowers. But if they're that forceful, wouldn't their ejaculate be that forceful as well?
Yes. It's like a super soaker stream.
I don't think it would be that. I think it would be harder. I think it would hit you like a fucking paintball bullet.
Yeah, it's gonna have the
it's
gonna have the impact of a paintball gun when it hits you. Oh, imagine that inside. Ooh, now I'm imagining that inside you. Yeah,
I'm also imagining that off the bridge and hitting some poor guy because also they're very high up, so then you also have to factor in the acceleration because of gravity.
Oh, God.
Right? 7.8 meters per second squared. I remember physics.
9.8 meters per second squared, Melanie.
Fine. Oops. 9.8 meters per second squared. That's coming down hard and fast, and all of a sudden there's someone dead on the ground.
Your eye, it's just gonna go straight through your eye, and you're gonna be missing an eye.
And that's a civil suit.
I'm sorry, I zoned
for
out.
wrongful death. I zoned out. So, okay, we'll go back.
No,
to
that's
Lexie.
okay.
No.
It's okay.
It's very important what we're talking about.
No.
Now she can just hear it when she listens to the episode.
She won't.
No, I don't like to hear myself talk.
Yeah.
How do you think I feel? I edit these bitches.
I was talking about if they got hit by the sperm coming out, which would be at a very fast rate, and then they're up high. So like some random person got hit on the ground and it's going to go down and accelerate because of physics. And then I said the definitely accurate number and didn't make a mistake that Rachel corrected. That didn't happen. And
I heard that.
Then that's going to hit really hard. And what if it killed somebody? Civil suit, wrongful death.
Killed somebody
with the super soldier semen, Lexie.
Someone that's driving over the bridge.
Okay, hang on. We have an age. We have an age for Lauren.
Ah, yes, an update. News alert. Breaking news.
It says in the book that she's in her 40s in the last few pages of Knifed.
She's in her...
But yes, Ashley's mom is in her 40s. We have an age.
Yeah. Which sort of makes sense, but it means she had kids. She had kids really, really young. And it was twins, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it was twins.
I don't think that clued in for me when I read it, that they were twins.
It says right in the first bit when she's talking about her mom and her twin brother who's an asshole who only contacts them for money.
Yeah.
I apparently skipped that, but I vigorously read the sex
bridge
scene on the bridge.
You
Like, there are
vigorously read
problems. We weren't done that.
And how does that make you feel, Melanie?
What?
That you vigorously read the sex scene?
This isn't about me.
Okay, she's avoiding the question, listener, so you heard it here first. One of her techniques is avoidance when she doesn't want to answer uncomfortable questions.
Why do we have power? I'm disgusted here.
But do we? Do we have power?
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes and put the lights on. I don't understand it.
Pain in my chest now.
I don't understand these books. I also don't have anything else to say about them.
We're looking forward to book 4.
No.
So we are all going to purchase and read very soon. And discuss again because we like to suffer. And just like in the 3rd Harry Potter movie, we're gonna suffer, but we're gonna be happy about it.
I don't think we're going to be happy about this suffering.
We're gonna suffer, and Melanie's gonna be happy about it.
There we go. That's
exactly right.
better.
I need to know what happened. Also, I don't want to read 8-on-1 gangbangs.
But here we are.
It's bad enough when that pops up when you're searching for porn.
I don't have that pop up when I'm searching for porn.
It pops up a lot.
What do you search?
I'm wondering. Hello?
We have it.
You have it on
We
there.
have it on tape.
Yep.
This was all a ruse to catch her. A ruse.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about these books. Sorry we haven't released an episode. It's just life has been shitty and busy.
Yeah.
And Melanie was dying for a little bit, and I was dying for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're back from the dead. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Are we back from the dead? Who knows? We'll see the next time an episode comes up. At this point, don't expect a regular upload schedule. Just gonna put this out there.
We're not regular. We don't have enough fiber in our diets.
Jesus Christ.
See, sometimes comedy is about quantity over quality, okay?
Yeah, you know.
Go.
We have some ideas. We just, like I said, life is just busy and yeah.
There's not enough time in the day.
There is not enough time to do everything that we want to do and not want to do. But alas, here we are. Anyways.
Adulting.
If you want to see when we're going to be uploading, if we upload within the next little bit, who knows? Might not be till March. We'll see. It depends. You can follow us on our Facebook page. We're Inconsistently Consistent. Instagram is Inconsistent Podcast 1. If you want to send us your thoughts on these books, or maybe you've read the books and you want to send us your thoughts, you can email us. We're inconsistentpodcast1@gmail.com. If you want to follow me specifically, don't send me cutlery porn stuff. I will block you. You can follow my TikTok. It's _RachelVR_. And TikTok is back up for the Americans. It was banned for like less than 12 hours. So there's that.
Oh, it's back.
It's back.
Oh, it was back very quick. Melanie, where can they find you?
Not on TikTok. I have never been. But they can find all my links on melanieflynnbooks.com. You can find a way to buy The Toy Maker in audiobook, ebook, or paperback. You can find my Instagram and things that I may or may not post on at some point. But there will be updates about upcoming books there. So you can find me there.
Lexie, where can they find you?
I don't want you guys to find me.
Yeah, you'll find Lexie on the dark net.
Don't search me.
Yeah.
You'll find Lexie.
They can find her on other episodes of the podcast.
Yeah.
Like the first episode of this book series.
Yeah, and also the one where we did AI prompts.
Yes.
And you could also find Lexie working for Melanie and
Exactly.
being forced to read these books against her will.
Which is not sexual harassment.
It definitely is.
It doesn't fall under that.
She also beats me
I have never.
in fits of rage.
Hey, who's punched the other here? Not me.
That was
I
like
have
20
never
years ago.
Yes, we were children, and I'll continue to bring it up.
But it wasn't like to hurt you.
Remember to like, rate, review us. That really helps with engagement. I'm cutting this off, children. And share with your friends if you want to traumatize people with this, because I like traumatizing my friends with these books.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.